For legendary preacher, aka Mr. Raheem, we have beautiful Brenda Robinson. We have Sister Ebony C with us this evening tonight. And we, we're not speaking the whole of the Black community, but our personal views and opinions of what we're going to get tonight. And we hope that influence some of the minds of people listening in. And we have a very, very interesting show tonight. But I want to speak kind of only person. I think this is all that podcast and what was going on the So we all we can think of. So we have an echo, we have is really museum, and we have walls here, we have illusions. Joy, and there are many purpose. That's the combination. Really long, they're around really wavy and super easy for day and as long as we're good. We have making the vision. Well, I've had an awesome week. I started the week on Sunday. I was interim president, I was like, well, a program. But and some of the period, schools that are on the end of grade, dressing, all the magazines, all of the stuff. And so, and I ran to work with it, so it was awesome. That was awesome. Either they have to live with our family. They make a traditional thing, getting their daughter, anything else, my sister was really involved in getting them back holiday. So for this, they actually made my house that morning instead of the super all that stuff. So it was actually improved. We don't spend that time. We look at it. That's not family, but more of a thing. And, I talk about anything and that always do something. I ain't one of us for the night. You said, Wow, yeah, it's for those who are on like health is really something important, really important to their ministry. I heard both the stat about how World Holiday, like a lot of people died during this time period and the other time period because of the overdose of COVID. So yeah, so that's very good. Well, at least it's making a way. Since it is the holiday season, and you really think about it, it is something people about coming over the holiday season and being able to spend time with their family and that world transition over to Christmas season. But one of the other major things that has really been in our face as Black people, not only about what we talked about in the last show, but this council culture that we've been dealing with when it comes to certain celebrities or athletes doing something in with moral counseling or artists singing the wrong thing in song and the moral counseling of the more specifically, but I'm actually happy. I got a really check announcement. I heard he is running for president again. Kanye West. A lot of people have AKA Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, has really been in the news lately. I know we have we actually took the time to give that and talk more specifically about how this country has a First Amendment, right? Which is the right to speak. Right. So you should be free to say anything in this country. You should have no one attacking you for the things you say. Your opinion should be valued, especially since that's literally the first right we hold to have as citizens of America. Even the history with that Declaration of Independence and all that, they want freedom from Great Britain, so they want to speak freely and everything. They couldn't speak instead. It seems like when we exercise a lot of those different rights that are supposed to be given to Americans, that we're not only counseled cultural-wise, but they counsel everything dealing with us and God. So anybody, like one of the things that you talk about is anybody know recently other ways that have been counseled. You can go over this thing that things that he involved, even our forced to apologize. There's a whole one in time, but as we thinking about it, anybody want to give talk a little bit about how we fall trap to cancel culture when they tell us who we should be canceling. The majority of our people fall really into it. The detriment of listening to someone else tell us we should cancel. And even that whole shadow banning thing and whatever another thing we do later. So it was some. And when I look at it, I always look at cancel and encourage. They only get on us when we deal with two things. One is the culture, and the other is trying to do it. But it's Judas culture, every then there's A, B, G, Q, R, S, T, they trying to make it a culture. They trying to make it an ethnicity. And really, it's a gender specific thing. Yeah, sure. It has nothing to do with the culture or any kind of ethnicity. But if you say anything about even motivate, then they go about trying to cancel you. Now, we know that the Jews talk out of Martin Luther King, right off his coattail with all the stuff that he was fighting for black people. Then when they killed her, guess who got the benefits? Those Jews. See, look at all his pictures. They moved wherever, we see them all the way. And in the same sense, the homosexual community started dealing with our same tactics of civil rights in order to get pushed whatever it is they were trying to push. But now here we are
the founding people of civil rights, pushing for our civil rights, we got to push more in the background than in the foreground. How come there's no cancel culture when somebody on Halloween put on some black stuff on their face and stand in a supermarket talking about they black and then they got a thing around someone other name, they got somebody else in handcuff. Okay, fine, but when they do that to us, why is it pushed in the background? So why didn't they get canceled? They use our same strategy to get where they are, and then they pushes us further back. They use the civil rights to get what they got. And then we use the first. What do we get? No, there was a thing on Halloween, there was Charlie Brown and all, they used to go trick or treat. And all of them go and knock on the door, and when they close the door, they got and treat Charlie Brown, and we can do that and say, I got a rock. And at the end of the day, they have a bad rock. So that's how they move back.
So what do you think the difference is, Joe? Like, what do black people fight hard to not be canceled? Do we do it?
I mean, yes,
Who do we?
the question I have, I can respond. My response is this. Most of those two groups that I was telling you did something black people tried to do, but I never totally successful in doing. And that is gaining land and properties and building corporations for themselves. When you do that and you got a certain group of people that live off of what you do for them, then you can cancel them because they're using your product, they're using your clothes, your car, your this, that. And so they can. But every time a black group of people decide to get out there and get some things for themselves and all, what usually happens? Right now, you can go to any black community and ride through their community and try to show your daughter or your son or your grandchild something about our history. They want to do things that they can life and some buildings that used to be something that turned into something for some era or something else. So what is this? Right, the YouTube too. So what does that say? No, I'm not even going on customers. Some of them don't want us to see. Sometimes it's benefited off of the position that we find ourselves in, and they're not going to do it. That's it. That he might rise, he will not be.
Well, let me talk.
But I want what we spend with them right now. I had some people call me, I said, how was your day? They used to sell, I said, how was your day? He said, I ain't never done it. But I said, I ain't never done it. I said, you know what? Because all black people look at the white folks and get they run back. You want to give some reparation to a people, give it to them, they black things to do, and they'll be right back tomorrow.
Okay, so again, there's no unity in us to do what you said,
Yeah, all the,
we don't own
you don't own nothing that they want, that you take from them, that they can, they say, well, so I didn't do, well, you gotta take.
Okay, so what you're saying is, this is kind of, this is just real.
I'm saying, there is hope.
Is there hope?
And if we want to sit and talk about it, that's what we come off with. But see, it's always somebody, because Steve Martin Luther said at a certain time in life, silence itself could be a wrong to not say nothing. There's so many of them. That's
That's the and the question that you asked, Brenda, that I love the mention and too, but you were asking something specifically about why we not fight back. Why is it that we don't speak up? Why do we get saying that we continue to let it happen? Well, my personal opinion, we've seen certain leaders, certain people speak up, like when they came and did that piece of and he went off, did a whole rap about it. You know how many black people say he shouldn't do that? You know how many of us attacked him, but saying he should never said that. What is he doing? Even same thing with Kanye West. When he went this next recently, it was black people more than anybody who attacked her by hitting her.
Well, their interested in that was, we were fighting each other, right? But then,
All the time.
no, what I'm saying is, because we weren't the ones that canceled it, right? The propaganda didn't come from us. When the propaganda got out there, and then all of a sudden, everybody looked, whether it was TikTok, somebody was on the TikTok about Friday, it was one point during that period, everybody said, get away, you can get away from it. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, like everybody had their own thing about it, and it was us fighting each other, saying, hey, it doesn't matter what you think about his mental health or any of that, because he said some very truthful things. Nobody is right 100% of the time. And you didn't have to agree with everything that he said. Because he said a lot of stuff. But there was the word action to correct in what he said. And the fact that, like when we talk about, cancel culture and the effect that we have on you, like when I was talking about it, I said, take out all your emotions, take out your religion and all this other stuff. Let's just talk hardcore fact. He said that there was a point when he went to go use an Apple Pay, he couldn't use an Apple Pay because of Apple Pay, right? And so it's like, how do you not? And then they went to the whole thing about where you can be violated. Like, when you're doing that, download the app, right? And you look like all that people need, you forget before you really accept, right? When they say like, oh, you violated, the rules or whatever on the app. But it's no fun though. Like,
Right.
so, you know what I'm saying? It's like, cancel culture, like, it's not just like, oh, these couch therapists and these couch socials are fighting each other. It's like they have a real effect on people's actual income and therefore their lives. It's like, why is it when we say something, we fight amongst ourselves, but white folks and other people can say stuff all day long, and you look around and it's like, oh hey, they still here. Take for example, I brought this up. I don't know if you guys, black people love an action star, right? Remember black people used to love Steven Seagal. Remember, they're not all watching the Steven Seagal movie. It's an actor who's in all the old white guy, Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
This is all J.T. Hoops and all those movies that he does this fight terrorists on the street. I remember he came out and said that he was somewhere with his friend, and his friend was saying she got assaulted by a black man. And then he was saying he was in that bar, and if any black man would have walked in the bar, he would have killed him. He said, out of the sky. And was there council culture about this white man saying that he was gonna kill any just random black guy? Like he was 100% serious. He was dead serious. But if a black man walked in the car while he was in there, they would have been dead. This is what I'm trying to go.
Casting, which I did say we don't have no reason. We can't, because they got a illusion about us.
Well, basically, how much he's saying.
But man, it's there all the time. The only most successful thing that ever happened is the mom can't be able to fuck. Since then, man, I say it all the time. Yeah, niggas like, I don't know. They ain't no more.
But we know that even in our individual homes, cancel each other out. You do it. Some other brothers not talking to each other. I'm never gonna talk to them again over little things, little things, stuff. So I don't.
It's like this. Everybody, I feel like I'm a minister out there on the next. It's just words that back me up. In the Bible, it mentions and shows you during the time of Moses that because of the group that came from Fairfield into the wilderness, still was known for what they had right in big area, that God had to let them die. And then let other generations come in who was not affected by it because he never lived with their organization. It's city. Well, I'm so grateful to God that He continues to do that up to this day. Whether my parents and maybe we didn't do it, this group with my group, Adrian, and Jack, and and all down the door, and God gonna keep on this embracing us and letting other people come up and say, so bad. Come time, one more. It's like,
Praise God, praise God. I'm not even aware about this. I'm seeing this generation this time. I just recently started working in the schools. I always worked in the school system before with younger kids. Now, listen to them and tell them and tell you, I know an eye-opening to these teenagers. But for the first time, I'm one of those that I got age of and then I had the period starting the 15 years. My mom said, well, you know, this is what 50 you gotta go on to be fine, right? This me. Well, that door, with the very, going over to the area and the communities and the things of finding each other and stuff. And that way, the first time, the classroom, the people go listen to go and do that's the first class. So I'm listening. So we're all about, I'm looking at it and sound live. Yeah, you just work on you for how times are get to some, we weren't doing it, get to explain it, it's what we got, they'll get across.
Right, and that's trying to go away. You know, I don't know, this, the indexes and people who say it's not. Yeah, I don't know.
Question,
But those
just go be on the yes,
so just a couple of doing that, I'm work with probably as well as that, I'll listen to it, so it's all the same thing, but
these, all I need to
the conversation going
but
on.
I'm saying, oh, all I say is all we have is the love. I'm talking about living there, I'm talking about when you know, that you would be able to be here. You know, figure out, you look at them and you let them know that you feel something hurt, you can't, you know, these kids, I said, we're going stuff. So real love, and I'm praying that real love gets to these kids, get out of there, you know, because real love will make us laugh at each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see that in the day. And then I say things, I make stuff, I create a wedding invitation and favor and stuff like that.
You know,
But people will pay, we have to go to order to go to it, they know you do it, but you know, I'm gonna buy my stuff for somebody else.
yes, that, yes, that's do stuff. It's amazing though. Yeah, it's.
That it's just something that we've got to instill within ourselves so that young people can see because young, just like you're in the same generation, aka millennial, I'm the other millennial. But the thing is, we saw that but we started with the millennials about why the millennials are so angry and like how that anger goes down to Gen Z and then goes down to the next generation. And I remember reading something where it's like millennials were like the fourth generation since like I forgot which generation, but millennials are under their angry, rightfully so, right? We're still the only people who have to go beg other people who don't look like us to hire us. When your son or daughter needs a job, what black business do you call and say, hey, you know, I've been shopping with you guys for a long time and I really like what you guys do. Do you have any openings for my son or daughter? Because we always patronize your business. Like, where is that? Like, when they have in other neighborhoods, we don't have that. What do we say? Oh, go work at Walmart. Oh, go work at Popeyes and McDonald's or one of these other places. There's some of the stuff that's killing them. Number one, and then it's like they're angry. They gotta go set their feet. They gotta go deal with racism that we haven't taught them how to deal with. We just pushed them out there, which I remember having a conversation with my nephew, and he was like, racism, like, you know, and it's our fault because we don't prepare these young people for what they're gonna face when they go out there. And it's because we don't say, oh, we were at an event and they were talking about, hey, do you know what we can do if we just take every 30 cents that we get? You know, every dollar that we get, 30 cents of that, and we spend it with black business. You can 70 cents, go spend it at Walmart, the Korean beauty supply, the Vietnamese sale people, all those people. But put aside that 30% to spend with black-owned business. Buy the black-owned tissue, the black-owned paper, textile, the black-owned soap, the black-owned toothpaste, the black-owned the necessities that you need. You know, support black-owned restaurants. You know what I'm saying? Support black nail tech. Support black bakeries, and all this other stuff. And then maybe we could be in a space where your child will feel like they have to sell their soul in order to bring in a check. Because we got about that. And this thing where it's like, oh, well, black moms and black families told us, hey, just put your head down. You know, we had to teach barbering with school, but you know, just put your head down, graduate high school, go to college, get you a good job, you'll be okay. Buy your house, yeah. Get in debt for $120,000, but buy your house. You know what I'm saying? And then people go pay. Well, that's not our reality. And they're angry, rightfully so, because we haven't taught them, go away. You can't get a job, start a business. You know what I'm saying? You can't get a job, start a business. This is how you can make money over here. This is how you can make money when you don't have to risk your life. And that's our problem. We sit here and we talk like, oh, we want unity, oh, we want this. But how many of us are showing us that, hey, these are the things that you can do to make legal money to take care of yourself and you don't have to risk your life. That's what I'm talking about. Being alone. And that's great that you're doing it. We also do it too, but it's not enough of us doing it, which is why we have all these burglaries, all these robberies, all these carjackings, because at the end of the day, people are gonna rob, kill, and steal to eat and if you're not able to offer an alternative, then this is why we're in the situation that we're in right now. People knocking people over the head on the red line to steal their phones, they can go sell it to the Eric store or the Latino store to get $50 to $100. People snatching people's purses. No one will go to say because we do not have this system in place where we're showing our people how to make legal money by supporting people who look like them. And until we address this, we're gonna still go through the same thing. Like we got black on social media now, our black truth. But yet, we sit over here get canceled and take to jail in jail. Some of us support Kanye, some of us support Kyrie and what they said because they were speaking truth. But guess what? We get canceled on social media. Oh, you got violated. You know to be and then trying to get his locked for today, you already to jail. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is criminalizing out. But we said to wait till he got out of jail. We started a new page instead of looking for what other alternatives that are owned by people that look like us and invest and support those alternatives. So I know the confidence that I think we're going to share those things.
I told the community, he used to go over Iran. He took over his country with cassette tapes. Just made sure that everybody delivered these cassette tapes to everybody's house in that country. What's my point? Back to this. We cannot continue to think that it's only one way to do it, and that's with the social media. You gotta go back to basics. You gotta put some stability. Just remember, too, I think in the world. So what culture are they really trying to take on my culture?
It's interesting to go into that.
That's,
Not to even switch the subject, but to take what we're talking about a little bit. If we look at the type of people that have a big county, and the things that they account for doing, for saying, very exciting, and then completely talking about almost every social media site consistently. They don't let that man be on social media. I remember when Twitter blocked Trump, I can bring Trump back, but I believe he blocked off with Trump, and these are look like I have a friend who get back on. But when we look at our African community, they do, they can be just account, right? Because they really pay account for it. We buy all of the, we consume their music, we consume their television shows, we are their consumer. So they use propaganda to convince us to do it. We use their social media like more than they use this.
And they still we're talking about gay. Like literally every you on Twitter or Facebook, a black people talking about us. Literally every response was being said the same thing. There was repeating what people talking for it. Like, oh, he's anti-Semitic. You should be Semitic because he's anti-Semitic. He's anti-Semitic. What?
If people do it like that, I was just thinking about define Semitic being Dark Sea person. Right? So they are telling us that Kanye West is anti-black. And that's ridiculous and counterculture.
It was that you started in.
maybe this is wrong. The Thriller album, he had, not the verse, he danced, he had, you know, what's that? And then when they were performing at the American Music Awards, that's why they said, they said, because Michael Jackson is a pedophile, and a lot of people know his music. And then you, Brother Chris, is a woman being. So like, so you know, the woman be out there promoting a channel that's now look at all the channels that what they always streaming writers, with our music and all that kind of stuff. They know what it is. They next door. Well, they still look for, they still, why they don't have, then what not ready for it.
The same one that when his birthday comes around, you see all social media. Walker from that that love. It's like you what we see, what we consume, right? Because we got into this position where we consume more than we create, right? And so we consume more than we create, which is why what you said, that their income are others, because we buy their shit, we buy their TV, everything we consume. But it's by design, because we spend so much time, energy, and resources consuming that we don't have enough time to create. So this is what people who are actually creating, who are actually starting businesses and elevating the community and growing. Like what happened? Like, oh, I started doing business over here. Go support me. That's okay. Ain't no way not people out there making that kind of money. That's scam. Because I'm so busy,
So now, the black businesses, their own social media.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
I drive, every person.
so they're not thriving because.
Well, that's not what number one for shower show. That's what she was saying. And there's levels to see. We have to redefine council culture and start counseling the others. They're going to and start letting you know what you do or see, because that's the thing. We have to get to a point. It's why I saw black and we got our people that we hope to. You listen to. We all let somebody like enforce your views on people. But these are things that you don't want people open their minds to. One thing that Denver always talk about is being hopeless, right? And it's like that's season one. Okay, like conversation is it hopeless, right? That's the reality because you have to look at black people. You have to see when it comes to, especially when we let someone else control our culture. That's what counterculture. They counter us out of our culture to be like, no, we don't tell y'all what to like. We gonna tell y'all who to like. We gonna tell y'all when to buy and all of that.
So look, when you wake up and you go shop at that store has determined what you should buy. When you go to the beauty supply, when these little girls walk around with inappropriate shirt, being ingredients and everything comes like us every day, they determine what food we eat, what where. They make those decisions for us every day. So is it a big leap to say that they're pushing us to the these people because we're all accustomed to it?
Well, that's the thing. We are the people, and again, I always want to how we can change that and start from little things that we can do in our community to change that. One thing that the propaganda does, they do it from work, right? And we have to take steps in our community as individuals. When it started at home, I love that. It's an email channel that I'm part of for years that says leadership start at home. You can't really change and hopefully go into the community, change the mind of everybody and see that impact. Because the other person even saying, again, we can't even force our views. We have to just show them the way. We have to be that light, right? You know, and when you look at that, we really like we know that they counts. We know how it works, and even though a lot of people are oblivious, they know what's going on. They see it as what I've noticed being a part of the Richmond Man Black and controlling our community. They're ready to go the other way. They're tired of hearing everything that's wrong. They know us. We have to understand our people get violent. They know the reason why we're in poverty. They've been hearing the spread around this situation. They know who controls this Kanye West situation. He ain't the first person that exposed the enemy on the way that he on the level that he did. This is the reason why they cancel certain things. You go to shadow banning, I only mention shadow banning because it's the reason why certain messages don't get it. They choose what goes viral. And a lot of people don't know that. That's the reason why the ridiculous, man, before my Instagram page got hacked recently, from Instagram page. Before I got hacked, I had over 10,000 followers. I would never have more than 10 people watching my life. And I recognized because how I built my Instagram. It was me ranting all the time. It was me talking about Instagram and posting certain things in the social media saying, y'all listen to the dog, we should come out. This thing you go out on the you put Instagram and have a music on video. I was going there posting like 30 videos in 15 seconds because I'm getting the whole message out. And by the time I got to the part of I was saying to other people when I had like 700 followers coming on to my live videos and everything. But it's something about what you say when you're doing certain things. I know Islam had over 12 different, maybe 17, 20 now on Instagram. It is certain things.
It's casual.
So we're talking about how we have to separate. And without really going, because I'm trying to look through a super thing or a taller thing, but it's a black good thing. We have to change the way we view ourselves. That's one of the first things we have to do. We don't view ourselves as worth, first and foremost. For us to have business done with us, and it's not black people feeling like they came out from you. It's us as individuals feeling like we can't do it, but we're not working. It's the reason why black businesses on the ground, and they don't think our people don't support them. People don't support them. They are going in the mindset. Talk about many black businesses that they'll open up in black communities. They went into other communities, and they're like, well, if I want to open up, nobody will support me. No.
And boy, they black businesses don't even know they're black owners. So they're black owners. So the owners.
So nobody, and that's something that we do. It is a part of our culture. It's sad.
It is that.
Thinking. It is the thinking that we have to put into our ancestors' children. I was going into the propaganda that we've gone through. I know that you a baby, and they got that breast milk that they give you that infant. What's on his name? White baby. A white baby. When you start, it's similar to white.
Send it over back.
And they put them on YouTube now. We have a YouTube generation.
Yeah.
Oh, that look on us. They started and they started black baby. You go to most black houses with the box of the egg and perfect guy. It's white baby in the other house. You then go to what they watch on YouTube. I used to go to my nieces about it. Why you always watching these white people living their life? Go watch some black people on YouTube. There's black people on YouTube. Some truly, but
And also, but it's very big to them.
but well, that's what they know. This thing is looking for. It's not a problem. Mine to go and look for the white people. They only started looking for black people because Uncle got tired of. They got tired of Uncle saying, "Go find some black people." That's why I go. That's the solution. See, if we're not in our homes, if we're not able to influence that, and it's one of my favorite lines that is the issue people our Sundays when I say we like avoid as black man in our community, right? And we talk about that we talk about basketball, we counting in the black culture. We're not having counting. Oh, it's super counting from the black community. And one of the major ways they counsel, look at that. Look how did they counsel the black man even further with Bill Cosby? Because he was everybody in my generation's life. He was everybody there. And I wasn't on that was the show. People called me, people told me that the reason why I was named Bill was I was named Bill all the time. So well, I'm like, okay, well, my dad is in there. So then they came to we have this man who was in the hearts and minds of all of us as this perfect father figure who they destroyed. They killed his image and that destroyed us as a people. Well, we like, well, if Bill Cosby, this image of a black man, we all love his father, ain't nothing, then black man really can't be nothing, right? But the black man didn't happen, right? We did what?
How do we keep letting these things happen?
We keep it there.
I said it all up, but tell me why. That's the solution.
But I do agree with you, I think we talked about this before too, when you said, we gotta get out there, share. I really, right, because remember when the pandemic happened, and remember when the church closed the churches, I remember waking up one day and saying, the church is closed. Not just the church I attended, all the churches were closed, and I said, I thought like that most ministers would be quick to say, since the church is closed, let us see how we can see. Some people did, some did, but like you said, it takes more than just one or two of those churches to get out and speak. Where I live on one of the blocks, there's like 3 churches from very small churches. I always have a problem with that, but I try not to have a big problem with people, but I have a problem that there's a little church, I live in this little church, you gotta get that problem, they keep it up.
If you go here, I want to black people to, I'm just doing the third thing.
Sure.
Oh, I think it should be, because you remember on Sunday morning after a terrible night with either wayward children or headache or whatever sickness, waking up on that Sunday morning and someone out there seeing some spiritual something, saying a prayer for something. You have been in the church in a long time. You're a people's wife. You're going through some stuff, and you hear somebody. I always picture that could just open the doors to the
It's not meant to say, one of our grand, after my grandfather, that's something that he does. He does, it was, he gets out the door, especially with your home now. He said they was out there one morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. And they just quiet. Just to say, he didn't go out and go everything. to hear that, yeah, those are solutions. Yeah, and those solutions that lie. I don't think it takes that many. No, it's not that, it can't be that, you can reach a few people, but it don't take that many people. And I like to look at the major problem that we in. Because if we talk about downtown, I'm gonna say there's many solutions. To our members say we ain't had a proper boycott, as a people in a very long time. The closest thing we get to, the closest thing we got on, it turned into riot, and they run with it, like that riot instead. And a few of us at that time, we had conversations, but only if it was directed, only if there was a form of leadership, it would have been even more effective. Because a lot of people talking about certain conversations we had at the Black community. And when we look at what we need, that is, we don't need many people. There's enough black cities with enough black people in them that think in a similar way that we do. But if they were to be willing for one day, there's different holidays that we have, that this one day can be. One of the most recent days was Martin Luther King International Holiday, when he told black people don't go to work. Take that day and look at it. This government gives days off, but what they say is that you take that day and make that y'all day. Do you know within 13 of our major black cities, for 3 days, no black person, not even the black people we care. Because then the other one will start saying it too. But that first day, if 100 black people in all major cities decided that they was not going to work together, the other black people, they try to work, they try to move to the inside, and so on, so they all my dad, then it was, you know, well, we decided to cancel their culture. You know, what you mean? Coaches, no. We can't simply culture. Well, again, we've been listening to our podcast, it's what I'm trying to say right now. Go ahead.
But then also you see every day what happens when they're not doing things like that, and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. How many churches do you see will till one day and they go the next day because they can't afford to pay their rent? Or they can just shackle up in with another church because they didn't off the building, or they can't afford the mortgage, or you know what I'm saying? Like, or they owe the water bill, and that ain't important for the city, not to lose their property because they can't afford to pay. They got water. It's like we have so many religious institutions, I'm not going to say church, we have so many religious institutions because they don't have their job and they're not here right now. What do we say all the time about if you people on the role that they were put here for, that they'll be taken out and somebody else will be put in their place? That's what we saw during the pandemic, and even right now, is the religious institution wasn't out there doing what they're supposed to do. So what happened? Average and ordinary people who you wouldn't even think was outside. Hey, on social media. Hey, we on the block. We feeding everybody on the block until everybody eat. Or hey, we over here. We got coats, hat, gloves. We got school supplies. People they weren't waiting on a grant. They weren't waiting on some outside person to give them some money. They got together, pulled their resources, and said, we're going to feed this block over here this day. Yeah. We're going to feed this block over here. Or we're going to get this block of kids. We're going to get them school supplies. Yeah. And that's what we need to get back to about.
Should have just kept doing it. Just keep doing it. I went to a little organization that helps seniors. I really don't know what the title. I know they're non-for-profit, but they help seniors. So I took my mom to this thing one day. And anyway, long story short, I wanted to go feed the homeless one day where I go all the time, but there was nobody. I was off and there was nobody to go with me. So I said, I'll go down here because I remember there was some young men that worked in the place. I went down there. It's not far from my home. I drove down there and I asked the guy that I know there if he knew some of those young men well enough that they could ride. I just wanted one man to ride with me. He didn't have to help me. The people that I feed there is not that much, but I had everything ready in my car. It was so much. You got to ask the lady so-and-so over there. So I said, okay. So I asked the lady. She said, I don't know. I went upstairs to talk to my director. I was like, oh, and it's a black organization, you know, it's a community outreach something.
Mm.
I left there, guys, after being there like 30 minutes waiting on people to talk to other people. I left there with nobody.
Mm.
The lady had told me to call the police station in that district. She actually called them. She said, if I was a man, I'd go with you, she said.
Mm.
She called the police and let me talk to them on the phone, and the police said, you want me to have a car to somewhere in that vicinity while you feed the homeless people, white police. I said, yes. I said, sir, I'm just asking if you can't do it. I mean, I'm just asking if you know. Yeah. He said, well, ma'am, we're busy with, bottom line, I was so upset when I left there because I just wanted, I mean, maybe it's protocol, I guess. And my daughter told me later, maybe if they got in your car with you and you had an accident, they'd be in trouble. You know, it's where is somebody that just said, send me out, go, you know, just go. I just ended up, I went back home. I mean, you know, sometimes our resources are at our house. I went back home. My brother was there. He took me with me, but he was there before I left. You know, he was there when I left. But you know me with the
Yeah.
but anyway, bottom line is, where did we go? What if I had gone in there hungry? What would they have told me then? They gotta wait till something happens before they can feed me. You know, I heard a sermon about if your brother says he's hungry and you give him a Coke, he's still hungry. You know, what are we doing here? I don't know. I'm just ready.
There are a lot of people who are doing some, just like Brother Tahaka said, you know, a lot of times it's not going to always take many.
Right.
I look in the Bible, I look in the Holy Quran, and mostly all the wars, it's always that the group that won had less of a force, army force, than people who they were fighting. Gideon, he had a match for the group he was going to fight. It was like, let's say they had maybe 30,000 and Gideon had 60,000. When it was over, based on what God did, Gideon only had 300 and they still had 60,000. But yet, they went to battle and they won. Why? Because the Creator or this higher power wants to continue to show that when man seems to be the force in everything, that there is a higher power.
Right.
And that and that higher power wanted to get the credit. And the only way that higher power gets that credit is to do what is seemingly impossible. And so that is what we got to learn to draw from as a people.
We got to believe that we can. We got to believe that we can.
Here's the thing. Here's why everybody keeps failing. Because in order to create the impossible, you got to take a risk. Nobody want to risk that.
Yeah, people are risky.
See, Kanye risked 11 billion to get 400 million. Hey, give me one of those million, I'd be happy. See, there's no other on his level that can do that, to suffer that kind of risk and still come out still well to do. Most of our people got these regular jobs. And all they got to do is see that something happened with their credit cards and say, oh, I must be something I said in the lunchroom at lunchtime. They messing with my credit card. You know, and now they scared because, you know, oh man, that group over there gonna mess with my grant. I can't be seen with them because, you know, my money keeps my bills paid. So yes, the thing is about sacrifice. And that's why we got to look at Kanye and we got to give him the accolades to say, man, you made it up there and you made a move to expose who is really running this world and who really got their thumb on the heads of Black people. Thank you, Brother Kanye. You got that 400 million, you get a chance to build it back up to 11 billion. But most of us, well, we out.
It's
We do for self.
well, that's
We take our money on these jobs and save it and create businesses for ourselves. We're going to continue to be in that predicament.
Well, it's interesting, and as we're coming to a close really soon. And
talk about anybody but Kanye.
well,
It's a red can.
well, we mentioned Kanye, but we talk more about the culture of canceling.
Hashtag cancel.
And instead of
Say him because Kyrie, he'll lose.
well, no, Kyrie, he apologizing back in the NBA. It's so many, it's so detrimental. Because one of the deeper things is the minister talk about it, and it's actually something that Kanye West said. And he showed it in his faith because before he made the move he did, he went around showing people that he was a God-fearing man by doing his Sunday service thing and had millions and millions of people filling up arenas to hear gospel music. Not pastoring, but gospel music. And there's something about gospel music because the other day, that's what got me out of my little slump. My mama said when I was a child, the Kanye West Smile song, Kurt Franklin, I said Kanye West, the Kurt Franklin Smile song. She said that used to be our jam growing up. So sometimes as in my older stuff, I played it at Amazon, did this little mix, and every song that played after, it had me feeling myself. I was just changing some of the words it was saying. Well, I was changing certain words because Jesus is my brother to me, not my Lord and Savior. He's my brother. So oh no. Look, he did the shot. She didn't move. She didn't make no face. She didn't do anything. But one thing that I kind of want to say as we come into like our little closing statements for everybody is that the final statement that you have for us is something I've been thinking a lot, and I talk about it a whole lot. We don't understand the power of our mind, right? And the reason why things seem hopeless or in the situation Black people are in, because we don't control our mind at all. You have those sayings, you lost your mind, such and such. Black people never had control over it for a very long time. We talk about people who went through slavery here in America, didn't have control over their mind, then get out of slavery, still not being properly educated on how to control the mind. See, I ain't talking about learning math and such. It's one of my mentors talk about you only get sick and everything happens in your life because of your thoughts. I had an incident not too long ago, first time ever. I was in this situation, but while in this situation, I was telling the brothers that was also in the situation with me that it's our thoughts that might have led us here. I say, and one of the strongest thoughts, he said, man, I was a drug dealer doing such. And I say, do you know if you were to change your thoughts while you were out there, you would have never got arrested? He said, what do you mean? I said, most of the time you were out there thinking, oh man, the police gonna get me. Oh man, I might get shot at. You're thinking this. So then what ended up happening? You might get shot at. The police might arrest you. But it's our thoughts that's controlling. If we think that even as we're speaking on the Black people, if we think what we're saying can't change nothing, then it won't change nothing. It won't have no effect. The things that we're talking about, how we're trying to expose certain things, it won't happen. Because our thoughts feed into our subsequent actions.
Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an internet, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other chronic conditions like gout and arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you need. Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. place an order, or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
We are at the end of our show, and we want to leave you with these words of wisdom. Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become your character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. What we think, we become. Good night and God bless. From the Black View. Peace.